righty, guys. It's Bobby Roast Beef, and we are back with another guest in the beef seat this week for an amazing interview. And before I introduce who this guest is, why don't we go ahead and take a look at the description, the intro on their Facebook page. Our guest is a Virginia-based outdoors media and clothing brand with a niche specifically in the classic American angling culture. And for what it's worth, I 100% think that this one individual embodies that to like the fullest. They say whether we're wetting a line on the John boat or traveling the country in the van, we live thick. And I'm talking about the one and only ThiccBass TV. How we doing, Eric?
Fantastic, man. Fall, one of my favorite times of the year. It's hoodie season, time to put on something a little heavier, you know, drink a little bit of a heavier beer, bonfires, trolling for striper. I mean, it's a fantastic time of year, and the holidays are right around the corner. So I'm just overjoyed right now, personally. And thank you for having me on.
Oh, glad to have you on, man. This has been a long time coming because you and I have been talking for a little bit regarding like timing to get you on the show. Cause like you really like you put some really fun and relatable content out there. Like one of the things specifically were like the on the water beer reviews. Absolutely love those. Like, you know, it's just like realistically, every angler can relate to the stuff that you're doing and the stuff that you're creating out on the water. But let's introduce the Jigs and Bigs audience to what ThiccBass TV is all about. Like, let's start at the beginning, the origin story from where you developed a passion for the outdoors, but then how do we get to the point where we are today, where there's content involved, there's an apparel brand, there's everything. How do we get here?
Yeah, man. So my dad's from Washington, big fly fishing. My grandpa fly fished. So my dad hand-tied flies. I took one of his flies on an ultralight, couple little squeeze, whatever those weights are called, those little bead weights.
Oh, yeah, the little sinkers, the split shot sinkers.
Yeah, split shots. And a little bobber, went down to the lake, started catching panfish, started dabbling in it more and more, went to Dick's one day and bought one of those like little like worm baits, not a Senko, not like a Ned rig, but like it looks like an earthworm. I skipped it under a dock. I got my first bass and I said, okay, this is a little different than a bluegill or a pumpkin seed here. And my brothers at the time, when I was kind of getting into my adolescence, they were running a lawn company in the neighborhood, and they saved up their money, bought one of those plastic like Sun Dolphin bass boats from like Cabela's or Bass Pro, and they were mowing lawns all day, smoking cigars, drinking beer, and catching bass, you know, after work every day. And they had the Abu Garcias and the spinner baits, and I really looked up to them and said, wow, that's cool. So 13 years old, I bought my first combo. It was $20, first spinning combo. And it was a Mitchell. So yeah, that ages me a little bit. And my brothers taught me how to bass fish. And I turned 18 in the April of 2013, and me and my buddy saved up and bought a John boat. And I'm in Coda and a battery, and we started fishing ourselves. And to this day, the most free feeling like probably you could ever have is all your buddies are in class and you're on the lake catching bass. It was just this feeling that you can't even describe. So fast forward, you know, college, every time I was home, I would fish, and I would fish here and there. And, you know, COVID-19 comes around and everything's shut down. You can't do anything. And I moved back home to my hometown lake and moved in with my dad. And I fished every single day. And I had a couple other buddies with John boats who did pretty much the same thing. So any given day, there was about 2 to 4 John boats out on the lake fishing. Throw each other beers, throw down $20, who can get the biggest bass. And I'm sitting out here and I'm going, man, we're doing some good stuff here. We should put a camera on this. And ThiccBass TV was born.
That's awesome, dude. That is absolutely awesome. Now, how is it that you know, you mentioned that the roots of fishing kind of came from fly fishing initially, with, you know, the influence from your father and your grandfather. What was it that for you, like, was trout like kind of the target initially?
Not at all.
Oh, really? Okay.
But my dad, just an old school guy. He was born in 1945, and he said, hey, throw one of these flies I tied on, and I did, and it caught panfish. But my brother Mike, he does fly fish,
Gotcha.
so it never was super appealing to me. I grew up, watching Bill Dance and stuff like that, and I
Oh
just
yeah.
thought he was an absolute man. So I always was like a bass fisherman, and that's kind of what I embody at Thick
Yep.
Bass TV. I don't really like the new culture and direction of bass fishing nowadays.
Yep.
But the old school, man, you see them with like their polos and the trucker hats and the depth finders, and like, man, that stuff. Like sometimes I'll just watch the 1979 Bassmaster Classic on a Tuesday night
Let's
and
talk
just
about like the apparel side of Thick Bass TV, because like some of the content that you're out there, like you're actually out there with your apparel, like with a booth at events and things like that.
Yeah.
What's the reception been like for you locally in your community?
Oh, it's been great, man. And I love seeing people rock my apparel. And here's the thing. I'm using all local artists. So all of everything you see here is from artists. Well, this is a very basic one, but
Sure, yeah.
my more intricate art is from Richmond artists, my buddy Jared and Crud City in Richmond. And then I get all of my stuff printed back then in Richmond, but now in Clifton by my buddy at Sanders Screen Printing.
Yep.
So all my stuff is local art, locally printed, and it's stuff that I love. So when I went to Virginia Commonwealth University, I had a VCU crew neck, same one, champion.
Yep.
And it was my favorite crew neck I ever owned. And I said, okay, that's the crew neck I'm going to use. And I have 30 hats, and my favorite blank is the Richardson 112. So that's the hat I'm going to use and for my, apparel.
Definitely.
So I only use like high quality stuff that I would want to wear, and I touch it. And I'm there every part of the process, from the font size to like the tone of the ink to every little detail. Like I'm in for it. It's not getting drop shipped. It's not getting made online. It's not. So it's pretty organic, and I like to stimulate, like if I can, local artists and local printers and my friends. And I just think it's awesome, man. And I don't make a lot of money off of it, but it's really awesome when I drop stuff and people are stoked on it.
Yeah. This is a weird one, but I want your top 3 favorite beers. Like if you could go back in time, even if they're not around, what's your top 3 favorite beers look like? And they don't have to be in any one style. You might love them because they're nostalgic. And not even in any order. Just these are the 3 that mean a lot to me.
That's going to be tough because it's like you have really, really good beers, but it might be a 12% beer that you have one of them and then you never have again.
Yep.
Or so I'm going to go with a mix here of like nostalgic, legendary, and delicious. And
I love that.
Everyone can find. I'm not going to say some beer that's like you can't get it.
Fair enough.
So Sierra Nevada Pale Ale's in there.
Oh,
that's a classic beer. Redefined the style, redefined a generation of beer when like lagers were the predominant thing.
Yes, 100% agree with that. Yep.
Man, it sounds crazy, but I really like Sapporo.
Sapparo's a decent beer.
As a clean lager,
it's
and
light and
in
crisp.
This area, there's a lot of Asian food. So Sapporo is just clean. It's like drinking air. It's just not. It's like a way better Michelob Ultra.
And let's be honest, let's say you're out having sushi, like some of the flavors or most Asian foods, like there's ginger and soy, and you don't want like necessarily a really heavy, beer to pair with that, So I get that.
And Weihenstephaner, Corbinian actually won, and this is insane that it won. It's like an 8% Doppelbock, and it won the best beer out of all the reviews last year.
No kidding.
It's from Germany, and it's that smooth. Like it doesn't taste like it's 8%. It's got layers of chocolate. It's very nice. And for usually heavy beers like that are at a disadvantage on the Jumbo beer because that's the whole format of it. It's like the crushability is a third of the score.
Oh yeah.
So
and if
like you're on the Jumbo, you don't want to be sitting there like going, God, man, I can't drink this thing. You want to just pound a beer next, So
especially like when you stereotypically you're thinking like, oh yeah, summertime. We're on the boat. We want to stay cool, stay refreshed. Like it's a lot. I recently was on a boat with a friend of mine, and he's a big barley wine guy. like barley wine and like imperial stouts. And in fact, I was at it was his 40th birthday party, and he's like, "Oh, dude, you got to look at my collection downstairs." And I'm like, "Collection of what, dude?" He's got like a wine cellar of barley wines alone. Like they're amazing. And some of the there were samplings going on. He's like, "This has notes of like soy. This has notes of this. This has notes of Well, we go out. This is the first time we fished together. 7 a.m. He's like, "You mind if I crack open a barley wine?" He's like, "I got a couple of glasses." I'm like, "Yeah, let's go for it, baby." And I'm that's
like the more like that's like the nicer version, like the more refined version of being like, "Hey man, can I crack open this Four Loko at 7 a.m.?"
Exactly. That's the more refined version. Yes.
Barley wine, bro. Like,
but it's funny, like you mentioned that German Doppel, and like that's like a lot of folks, and I bust chops all the time. Like I like people say like, "Oh, what's your favorite style of beer?" I'm like, I like beer. Like I like lights and darks. I like bitters and malties. You know what I mean? Like I like them for different reasons, and sometimes it's just like sheer like nostalgia. You know, like there's something about I was enjoying that beer and it left an impression on me at this one point in my life. So I'll have one of those to kind of like, you know, what's one for me that does that? Newcastle Brown Ale.
So people were mad because they started making it in America. I don't know if you heard this.
I did hear.
And then now, apparently, my buddy told me through the grapevine, they're making it in Britain again.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. So look into that.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah. It's one of those things. Like for me, that was one. So it's like that Newcastle is always going to be like in that. Yeah. In that, it's not like that circle.
Like the best beer I've ever had, but you have fond memories attached to it.
That's exactly it. The weirdest beer that I like, that's probably the one where I'm like, and it's hard to find. Like it's not something I can track down. It's from a local brewery here called Berkshire Brewing Company. And Berkshire Brewing Company is like before like the microbrewery, before craft beer was a term that was used in the ethos. Microbreweries would pop up here and there in different spots, and Berkshire Brewing was among one of the first names that became common. And they have a series of they've been around for a long time, and they make quality products. They really do. Like their Maybach is out of this world. Nice. They have an IPA called Lost Sailor IPA that's absolutely delicious. They have a Coffeeman's Porter, Coffee House Porter, which is out of this world. It's made with locally roasted coffee as well. But the one that strikes me is just nuts. And it's a weird sort of like, I want to call it like, I almost maybe like a session version of one of their IPAs. It's called Jalapeno. And my co-host Joe and I have had conversations, and I was amazed that number one, he liked it, but number two, that he had even heard of it. So what it is it's basically like their is it the Incognito IPA that they have? I think that's what it's called. It's that IPA recipe, but what they do is they dump a bunch of pineapple in and a bunch of jalapeno. And it's like people are like, "Oh, is it spicy?" I'm like, it's not spicy. The jalapeno essence is like that fruity, like garden essence that you get. Like it's very, very weird, like almost like vegetal. It's crazy, but with the sweetness of the pineapple, it is just out of this world. And like crushability
sounds like carnitas, man.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Sometimes I throw like a pork shoulder in the crock pot with some pineapple juice and some, jalapenos and stuff. Like I do that like once a year.
Yeah, it's a home run. If I could, I'd do it once a month. You know what I mean? It's delicious. And that's the other thing too. Your content's so relatable because like you like life. You know what I mean? Like that's your thing. I feel like you celebrate life more than anything because like you don't do anything like just for the sake of doing it. Like you're making stakes and you're sharing that experience and everything. And you're like, dude, yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you so much, man. Like I really think Live Thick, like I say this all the time and it's so generic and cringy, but like it doesn't matter if you're on a yacht or a John boat. You can live thick. It's about taking the opportunity in front of you and making the most of it. Like and I say this all the time, but the definition of live thick, if anyone on the podcast, like what is live thick?
Yeah.
You're on the lake and it starts absolutely dumping, thunderstorming, and you go under a tree with your buddy and you say, you know what? Let's just crack a beer, relax. You know, you're locked in. You're probably like popping a popper, like walking a spook, or like you were real locked in. and then now you're like, oh man, it's dumping. Like this sucks, right?
Yep.
Go under a tree, put on some music, crack a beer, and just hang out, talk. That's living thick.
Yeah.
100%. And I actually enjoy moments like that because it's like it gives you a break from like everything, and you're like, wow, this is life.
Wow.
You know, like you were saying, honestly, like I'm serious. When I have those days, because we all know when it starts raining, the bike just picks up. Then if it's like, oh no, I think this is a little bit more than we bargained for.
Yep, exactly.
You under a tree and hide out for a while if you can't get back to shore in time.
Definitely.
But that's what ThiccBass is. I mean, sorry, Live Thick is like for me. Every time I'm under a tree, I'm like, this is living thick right here.